Guys, like, comment, subscribe. Share the video if you like Texas football as much as I do. My favorite Big Ten team. My second favorite football team in college football. First being Florida State. That's my first true love right there, man. Let's go. Let's talk about this video. Texas, I have mixed opinions on Texas. I'm going to give my worst case scenario and my best case scenario. Worst case scenario, they end up 8-5, 7-6 again. Something like that. Because Quinn cannot complete passes, because this time Texas can't run the ball without Bijan Robinson, because their defense is going to be great again, but going to wear it down because the offense can't perform, and they'll struggle and lose to teams like Oklahoma State again, TCU again, Texas Tech again, lose to Alabama again. Might not even be a close game if things go the way they did this past year, and maybe to one more game. More regular season game, then they lose their bowl game again. Or, the best case scenario, Quinn Ewers shows up to play. He plays his best like he did before he got hurt. And that's something I didn't consider. He did get hurt against Alabama, and maybe he wasn't healthy since then, so it kind of messed up his confidence and his throwing ability. Texas is a complete team on offense, running and throwing. I don't expect the running game to be quite as good as it was when Bijan was there, but it should still be really good. They have elite players all around the field. So I think Texas will have a really good defense again. I think special teams will be pretty good. I think you should expect less penalties on the offensive line, like holding, false starts. It was a young offensive line this past year. That's something I didn't take into consideration. You'll have a lot of sophomores and juniors on that offensive line, so you're bringing back a wealth of experience. Texas will have a good defense again. I keep saying that because the defense really stood out to me this past year. That's something that surprised me from Coach Sark, so take my hat off to him on that part. I expect that best case scenario, 10-2, 11-1. I don't think they'll go 12-0. It's very, very difficult for anybody to go undefeated in college football. Very few teams have done it. Only 3 of them have gone 15-0 in college football history. Georgia did it this past year. Alabama, no, they haven't done it actually. Clemson and LSU, those are the only 3 teams. Clemson, LSU, and Georgia, the only 3 teams to make it to the make the whole thing, to win it all out, 15-0. A lot of teams 14-1, but nobody else has been 15-0 except for 3 teams. Yeah, it just depends how well things go for Texas. Injuries too, that can be a factor. But again, Texas is Texas. They're loaded with talent. It just depends. It's really hard for me as a Texas fan to buy in and say, this is the year Texas does it. If things go great, they'll beat Bama. They'll beat Oklahoma State. They'll beat Oklahoma again. But it will be a competitive game. I think Oklahoma is going to be really good. And that's coming from a Texas fan. Oklahoma is going to be a lot better than what they were this past year under Brent Venables. He's a second-year coach, much like Coach Freeman. Difference is Notre Dame had much more talent. And Coach Freeman had already been there, not as a head coach, but as a defensive coordinator. He kind of knew a lot of things. Versus Brent Venables was at Clemson. He had a whole different role. He had nothing to do with the program. So that's besides the point. The point is Texas at best, again, 10-2, 11-1, winning a New Year's 6 might make a playoff. It is possible. Or they go 7-5, 8-5, something like that. And then Sark would be out of there. But again, it just all depends, Hook 'em horns either way, baby.